Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Syllabus area, investment appraisal, chapter, risk and uncertainty, topic name, joint probability. Here we will discuss how joint probability incorporates with the calculation of NPV, So first, how to develop the mindset related to joint probability. Although you have already covered the topic, the simple probability affects with the NPV calculation. So let's discuss or start discussion of the joint probability with a particular exam question. This is March-June 2018 exam question. And we will read that question, and first of all we need to understand what is the meaning of joint probability. Now come on, read this question very carefully. I strongly suggest at this point you have to pause the video first and read this question quickly by spending just 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, once you read the question, now continue the video. Okay, Copper Company is concerned about the risk associated with the proposed investment and looking for ways to incorporate risk into investment appraisal process. The company has heard the probability analysis may be useful in this respect, and so following information relating to proposed investment has been prepared. Year 1 and year 2. There are the information about the probabilities, but at two places, at year 1 and year 2. This is something about joint probability. Joint means these two different probabilities are connected with each other. For example, here number one, the cash flows may arise 1 million at year 1 with the chances of 10%, 2 million with the chances of 50%, 3 million with the chances of 40%. Okay, this is the simple probability that year 1. But if we move to year 2, independently, first read independently about the year 2. If we read independently year 2 probability, that's simple probability. That's year 2 probability is $2 million, that the chances of 30%. Year 2, 3 million cash flows may arise, that the chances of 60%. And 5 million cash flows, that the chances of 10%. So if we read independently year 1, year 2 cash flows with their respective probability, that's called simple probability. But actually, these two cash flows are interconnected. For example, if we say year 1 having the 1 million cash flows, the chance of 10%. So if 1 million cash flows arise, after that year 2 maybe 2 million with a 30% probability, maybe 3 million with a 60% probability, maybe 5 million with 10% probability. So the first possibility is that 1 million cash flows at year 1, and there are 3 chances of year 2. Same case, what if the year 1 cash flows 2 million with the 50% probability, and then year 2 have the cash flows of 2 million, 3 million, 5 million with these probabilities. So till now, whatever we have discussed, there are the first possibility of year 1 cash flows with the 3 further chances of year 2. Then year 1, 2 million cash flows with the 50%, and then 3 more possibilities. And finally, if 3 million cash flows at year 1 having 40% chance, Further, the year 2 cash flows having three possibilities. So each year 1 cash flows having the implications for year 2 with the three chances. So we can say that in the simple word that year 1, if year 1 having 1 million, whatever the probabilities, then having for year 2 there are three possibilities. Then if year 1 having 2 million, cash flows. Once again, there are three different possibilities of year 2. Same case, if year 1 having 3 million cash flows, that's a 40% chance. Once again, there are three possibilities. So this is what about the image mindset, which means joint probability means the probabilities of two different variables are interconnected. Here the case. So here we can say that there are 9 possibilities. There are 9 possibilities of the total cash inflows. Total cash inflows means year 1 cash flow, year 2 cash flows. These are the total inflows. That's the point. I hope you are getting the point. So what examiner is asking here, however the company is not sure, not sure how to interpret the results of investment appraisal based on probability analysis. The proposed investment is 3 million. Do remember, year 0 investment is 3.5 million is fixed. All these complications of joint probabilities, that is about inflows, year 1 inflows, year 2 inflows. That's a point. Payable in full at the start of the first year of operations. Copper uses discount rate 12%. And this is the question. Use the joint probability table, calculate the expected NPV. Calculate the mean NPV or expected NPV are interchangeable words of the proposed investment. Rest 3, 2, 3, 4 we will discuss later. Now come on, let's start the game. So first thing is that what to do. Actually, we are here to calculate expected NPV. And how to calculate NPV? Very simple. Number one, investment. And number two, and what is the, by the way, investment here? That is 3.5 million. For example, we are working here 1,000. So 3,500. $3,500, number one. Number two, expected value of present value of future inflows. Investment is 3,500. Investment 3,500, and we need to calculate expected future cash inflows. Expected value, EV means expected values. And about what to expected value? Present value of future inflows. Present value of future inflows. And then finally, we need to able to calculate expected NPV. So yes, here it's 3,500 minus. So there are, sir, how to calculate expected value, that is present value of future inflows. That we need to calculate with the two-step model. With the two-step model. So what are the two steps? So what are the two steps? Number one, the first step is to identify present value of all future inflows possibilities. Sir, what does that mean? That means whatever the sketch in our mind. If I ask you that, how many total possibilities here? How many total possibilities here? You must say, sir, there are 9 possibilities. Sir, there are 9 possibilities. There are 9 possibilities. Okay. So, there are 9 possibilities, yes. But the possibilities arises from these cash flows. So first of all, we need to determine the present value of these cash flows. Present value of these cash flows. Because whatever the calculation we will make, that's based on present value. And also this. For example, future cash flows years 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. These are discount rate, and discount rate is 12%. Huh? And these are the present value. Listen carefully. What are the cash flows? That's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 2,000, 3,000, and 5,000. These are not all the possibilities. These are the possible cash flows. And based on these cash flows, we will drive the possibilities. Discount rate. What the discount rate for year 1? For all year 1 is equal to 1.12 power minus 1. For all year 1 cash flows, this one will be the discount rate. And what about this? For year 2, 1.12 power minus 2. Control C, Control V. 1000 multiplied by this. 1494 2391 3985. So these were the calculation that we have done accordingly with the two decimal place. Okay. Present value of all future inflows possibilities. So the possibilities that, or you can delete the word possibilities. First establish present value of all future inflows. So whatever the cash flows given here, we just calculate the present value. Now the actual point is the second step. Now listen carefully. What, number one, with the second step, what we need to do, expected value of present value future inflows. Sir, how to calculate this? Now come on. Very simple. Not to worry. We need to work out like this. Number one, possibilities. Listen carefully here. Focus here. You will identify the things at the end of the question. Number one, possibilities. How many the possibilities here? There are 9 possibilities here. There are 9 possibilities here. How to incorporate the 9 possibilities here? Like this. Number one, year 1 present value with the respective probability. Now come on. Year 2 present value with their respect probability. Come on, one by one. The year 1, if year 1 cash flow arise 1000, having the present value of 892.86, that's 893. If this happens, there are 3 possibilities. Possibility 1, possibility 2, possibility 3. And in this case, there are total 9 possibilities. But these are the first possibility. If year 1 cash flows arise 892.86, there are chances of year 2, that is 1494. There is chances of year 2, 2391. There are chances of this. So we have developed the same sketch. Year 1, 1 million future cash flows, implications having year 2, 3 possibilities. Year 1 having the common cash flows, there are 3 possibilities. These are the first 3 possibilities. Yes, the probability is 10%, 0.5 and 0.4, and the year 2 having the probability 0.3, 0.6 and 0.1. I'm sorry, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, sorry. So the first possibility is the 10%. If year 1 cash flow having the present value 892.6 having the probability of the 10%, there are 3 chances of year 2. Now quickly, 4, 5, 6. What is 4, 5, 6? That's year 1 having the cash flows of this with the probability of, what is the probability? That is the 50% probability. So once again, year 2 having the cash flows, 3 chances. And these are the probabilities. Once again, so this is the sketch, Year 1, 2 million future cash flows having the present value of 1785.71 and having 3 possibilities, 3 implications of the year 2. Same, these are the points. I hope it's very clear to all of you. That's 7, 8, 9, another. And this is the chances of 40%, 0.4, 0.4, 0.4. That's the point. Once again, and these are the things. So these are the possibilities that we have developed accordingly. Do remember that. We need to calculate the expected NPV by incorporating year 1 and year 2 present value of the future cash flows, but incorporating the joint probabilities. That means year 1 we need to incorporate year 1 and year 2 present values by incorporating joint probabilities. Now, how to build the joint probabilities? Number 1, first of all, if we calculate the total NPV, so first require total present values. Here, total present value means year 1 plus year 2. So here we calculate plus year 1, year 2. But definitely these are the total present value, not affecting the probabilities. Sir, what about the joint probabilities? If we need to work out with the joint probabilities, so that means is equal to this multiplied by this. Control C, Control V. These are the joint probabilities. And of course, the joint probability sum should be 1. But no need to prove that. This is the joint probability. And just calculate, for example, here, now we need to calculate present value multiplied by joint probability. Now these present value inflows that need to incorporate, that needs to consider the joint probabilities. Total present value inflows multiplied by this. Once again, sir, what you have done is equal to 2787.24 multiplied by joint probabilities. Simple Control C, Control V. This one is present value inflow into joint probability. And what is this sum? What is this sum about? This is what about present value of inflows. Present value inflows expected by incorporating JP joint probability. By incorporating joint probability. And this 4565 need to incorporate here. And this is your expected value of present value, expected value with respect to present value of future inflows with joint probability. Now calculate NPV, and NPV is 865.43. Expected NPV with joint probability, and that is what, or that is how to incorporate joint probability, with the calculation of NPV. That's the basic one. But the further next 5 more minutes to incorporate more things. First of all, do you agree that this is present value of inflow with joint NPV, one by one? So this 4365 is actually about the possibilities. Actually about the expected inflows by incorporating all joint probabilities. But each individual value is actually present value inflows. Means I can say that the present value of inflows may be 74.61735 or 62, but the chances is 3%. Present value inflow 197.07, but the chances is 6%. Like 1216.84, the chance is 24%. And we all know the investment here is 3,500. Sorry. 1 moment. If investment in all the case 3,500 investment. And if we need to calculate the present value, NPV for all individual cases, listen carefully. For example, 3,500 minus the total present value inflows. This is 3,500 minus total present inflows. So that means, or I can say that the total present values inflows, total present value inflows minus 3500. So that means NPV is negative. Once again, this is total present value inflows. If total inflows is 2487 is lesser than the investment, so negative NPV. Control C, Control V. But not all the cases negative. Some are positives. We have done the joint probability. That is one particular information that I'm considering here. That's how many possibilities about the negative NPV. Negative NPV 1012.76, the chances of 3%, 215.76 negative, the chances of 6%, 119.90, the chances of 15%. If I say that, number one, in this case, the expected NPV is 865.43, okay. But another thing, the chances, or I can say the total probability for negative NPV. So what you will say? You will say the total chances of negative NPV is 3 plus 6 plus 15. Yes. Is this information relevant for you? Is this information relevant for you? If I say that this project with a joint probability having positive NPV at 65.43, okay, done. But number two, there are 24% chances that NPV is negative. That is the substantial, a very huge chance that NPV become negative. So one information is that estimated NPV positive. Second information is that the chances of negative NPV is 24%. Yes, one more thing. With this NPV calculation, first of all, come on with the question requirement. The first requirement is calculate the mean or expected NPV proposed investment. Done. 8 marks. With this question, the answer is 865.43. Number 2, calculate the probability of investment having negative NPV. 1 mark. We have done 24%, the negative NPV. What we have done? Investment minus total present value. Investment, total present value inflows minus investment. That's all. Calculate and then identify. After that, there are 3 possibilities of the negative NPV, and just calculate the total joint probability. 3%, 6%, 15%, that is 24%. Next, calculate the NPV of the most likely outcome. Most likely. Most likely means with the highest probability. With the highest probability. The highest probability is this. That is 30%. 4%, 24, 12, 5, 15, 0.1, 6, 3. That is the highest. And the highest probability is 30% with 677. So What the question about? Most likely that is 30% and the NP become 677.3. This is what about the question. Comment on the financial acceptability of the proposed investment. Now comment 2 marks. Should the project should be accepted? We cannot answer exactly here, but for 2 marks we can write at least 2 to 3 points. Number one, the very simple NPV is positive, expected NPV. Number one, expected NPV positive, so financially acceptable. But I strongly suggest with this type of the question, you must have to use wording like this. So might be thought that the project accepted, not exactly. Why? Because here NPV is positive, but on the other hand, chances of losses is 24%. So if you feel that you are investor, if you are investor and I am presenter, and I am saying to you that Mr. Investor, whatever the person, Mr. David, Mr. Hamza, Miss Sana, you are the investor, and if you invest the 3.5 million, you will be able to get the positive NPV of 865,000 or 8.65 million positive NPV. But then you ask that, if Mr. Hamza asked that, sir, what are the chances of losses? And I replied to Mr. Hamza that 24%, although the chances of profit is 8.65 million, but chances of negative NPV is 24%. So maybe Hamza Saab decisions become reluctant because he don't want to take the huge risk. So that's why here mentioned might be. That's important. Then mention that decision on financial acceptability must also consider the risk of a negative NPV being generated the investment. In this case, 25% might be too high risk to acceptable. That's important. So finally, the risk preference of the directors of Cooper informed decision on the financial acceptability. And there is no decision rule followed here. There is no exact decision rule that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. That's a point. So this is what about the comment point, and that's we have done accordingly about the joint probability. Remaining part of the question of the Cooper, that's it's not related to joint probability but related to other part of risk and uncertainty. That theory, that simulation, adjusted payback, risk adjusted discounted, that's we have already covered. That's 8 marks question. You have to draft it and check the answer with the guideline I provided about how to draft the answers and your model answer as well. So thank you very much. Take care a lot. Assalamu alaikum. If you have any question, you can ask me. Assalamu alaikum.